Horse racing, one of the most controversial sports in the equine industry. Now, it's got opinions from both sides of the spectrum, and I'm going to go over my opinion on it and how I feel personally. I'm more for or against it. There is a bad side to horse racing that I've not particularly seen because I don't work there or know any people there. But I've heard a lot of crap about that place, or racing places in general. I go every time there's racing. I love that place. So it's so much fun, and I know that it's a sad world to witness some of the accidents that they have there and some of the negative effects it has on humanity. And I'm not like Rayleigh Link 14. Shout out to her. I love her videos, but I'm not as hardcore for or against it like she is. She's mostly against it though. I will get into further detail about the racing career in my opinion. So, alright, the first topic I want to go and talk about is the whips. Now, the races that I go see, they're not as, what's the word? As violent with whips as, like, more competitive racers. This is, like, a little racetrack, right? And, it's not like the Kentucky Derby or Woodbine racetrack. It's a small racetrack. I live in Canada near Niagara Falls. So, I really like this, and some people there are really nice, and I get that I don't know a lot about what goes on behind it, that, I really can't say everything I know because I'm not that knowledgeable about the track. I'm just gonna go off what I see and what I've heard, and, I've heard a lot about that place, and racing in general, but I've seen really bad accidents there, and I've seen people beat their horses behind the scenes at this place. Like, some trainers there that want to win the money and can't because their horses are so hyped up on drugs possibly and adrenaline that it's really sad what actually happens there. But like I said before, I don't know anything about the people or the place. And I'm not saying they're bad people in general, just doing bad stuff to horses, okay? Because I have a friend whose mother trains race horses, and she's probably the most person I know that does it. And as far as I can tell, they don't do anything bad to their horses. They're very humane people. They own other horses too, like not just race horses. Okay, I want to talk about some of the necessities of prior racing. When I say that, I mean like before they start racing, like before their race. When they're walking up and down and getting their tattoo checked for legal racing rights, the fact that they have a chain in their mouth and them foaming at the mouth and the walker, I guess is what we're gonna call them, yanking on the mouth, that is sad to watch, and I don't particularly like watching them just dragging this horse along, this horse freaking out because he was only backed up into this little box that was saddle thrown on, little saddle, and it's sometimes the walker's just like, sometimes the horse will stop dead because he doesn't want to go on, and they'll just keep whipping them till the horse continues to walk, and it is sad to watch. And I know it's probably a lot worse at some other tracks than just this one, but I hate watching that part. Or when they're walking out in the walking ring to get the jockeys mounted on. Some horses will be rearing and throwing a fit while the jockey's trying to get on, and it's gotten loose, and everyone's freaking out, like gone ballistic, and then they'll get the horse and they'll start beating this horse because it got away. It's like, you beating a horse isn't going to correct its behavior, it's just going to make matters worse for its later life. And I don't know if the horses are all drugged up before that before they go on the race, or if they're not, if they're just on adrenaline right now. But I do know that there's this one horse. It had a heart attack while it was racing, but it had so much adrenaline running through him that it was running pretty much on a dead heart. As this horse was having a heart attack, and it died about the third turn. And it just went running, and it flipped over the spectator. I think that's what it's called, the spectator rails or whatever. God knows what other drugs he was on, but that's all I know is that was a very scary experience for some people. It's not something that any horse should ever have to go through. A lot of these horses are bred to race, like it's in their bloodlines. And if you say, oh, it's cruel, it's abuse of the horse, these horses are bred and trained for it. They're not being forced to do this. Now, in my opinion, if a horse doesn't want to race, don't make it race. But if you bred Secretariat to some of the best mares, that horse is bred for racing, okay? Those horses were bred for racing. Now, still, same rules apply. Those horses were bred for this kind of event. And I think it'd be more cruel to keep a horse from doing what he loves to do and what he's born to do, because you can't take a thoroughbred destined to race horse races and possibly make it to the Kentucky Derby and make him a barrel horse. That seems more cruel than doing what he's supposed to do. I find it very unfair to people who assume that this is abuse right away. You could see one horse race and be like, this is abuse. Okay, it's like, guys, the horses were bred to do this. Yeah, some of it's cruel. Yeah, some of it's not right. But these horses are like 3-year-olds and they were bred for this discipline. And people need to understand that that's what I'm saying. They're born for this. It's kind of what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, if you haven't figured out what my conclusion to the racing industry is, it's okay, because I haven't either. I film this without a script, so I don't really know what my full opinion is on this. And I don't think that I'm against it completely. I don't think I'm for it completely. I love it. It's fun to watch or whatever, but there are things that I can't stand about the industry. You can't trust anybody really in the racing industry. And I kind of enjoy watching it, in my personal opinion. So thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. I'll see you next time for whatever that is. Bye!